Question 1. Under the National Safety Code, what factors affect a motor carrier's safety fitness rating? How well maintained the vehicles are. B. The age of the vehicles. C. The driving offenses of its employees. D. How often pre- and post-trip inspections are carried out. The answer is C. The driving offenses of its employees. Question 2. Are there particular hearing standards that must be met to obtain a commercial driver's license in Manitoba? A. Only with Class 1. B. Yes. C. No. D. With certain class of license. The answer is B. Yes. Question 3. What are the prerequisites for booking a Class 1 road test in Manitoba? A. Minimum I-lead time. B. Mandatory entry-level training. C. Minimum entry-level training. D. Maximum entry-level training. The answer is B. Mandatory entry-level training. Question 4. How can an employer obtain a copy of an employee's or potential employee's driving record? A. They call it in. B. They must show proof of employment. C. They must get written approval. D. None of the above. The answer is C. They must get written approval. Question 5. What is the minimum age requirement to operate Class 1, 2, 3, or 4 vehicles? A. 18 years of age. B. 21 years of age. C. 16 years of age. D. 17 years of age. The answer is A. 18 years of age. Question 6. A Class 2 license is primarily for driving which type of vehicle? A. Motorcycle. B. Bus. C. Tractor-trailer. D. None of the above. The answer is B. Bus. Question 7. What type of license is required to drive a bus with more than 24 passengers? A. A valid minimum Class 5 driver's license. B. A valid minimum Class 5L driver's license. C. A valid minimum Class 5I driver's license. D. None of the above. The answer is C. A valid minimum Class 5I driver's license. Question 8. What class of license is required to drive a semi-trailer truck? A. Class 3. B. Class 4. C. Class 2. D. Class 1. The answer is D. Class 1. Question 9. What are the requirements for obtaining authorized instruction in a specific class of license? A. Class 1. B. Class 4. C. Class 2. D. Class 3. The answer is A. Class 1. Question 10. For what weight limit is a Class 3 license required for operating a vehicle or a combination of a vehicle and towed vehicle? A. 3,540. B. 4,540. C. 5,440. D. 5,450. The answer is B. 4540. Question 11. What type of license must the accompanying driver have when someone with authorized instruction for Class 1, 2, 3, or 4 is driving? A. A valid driver's license and has held a minimum Class 5 driver's license for at least 3 years. B. A valid driver's license and has held a minimum Class 5L driver's license for at least 3 years. C. A valid driver's license and has held a minimum Class 5F driver's license for at least 3 years. D. None of the above. The answer is C. A valid driver's license and has held a minimum Class 5F driver's license for at least 3 years. Question 12. How long must applicants for a Class 2, 3, or 4 driver's license wait after receiving authorized instruction in that class before they can take a road test? A. 72 hours. B. 24 hours. C. A. 1 week maximum. D. At least 2 weeks. The answer is D. At least 2 weeks. Question 13. How far in advance can you schedule your driving test appointment? A. 6 weeks. B. 4 weeks. C. 8 weeks. D. 12 weeks. The answer is C. 8 weeks. Question 14. Why must commercial class drivers submit periodic medical reports? To ensure they have no medical conditions that may affect their driving ability. B. Every licensed driver in Manitoba has to do this. C. It's on the form. D. None of the above. The answer is A. To ensure they have no medical conditions that may affect their driving ability. Question 15. What share of Canada's greenhouse gas emissions comes from the road transportation sector? A. 18%. B. 12%. C. 30%. D. 21%. The answer is C. 30%. Question 16. How long must you wait after receiving a learner's license before you can take the road test for Class 2, 3, or 4 licenses? A. 10 days. B. 21 days. C. 14 days. D. 7 days. The answer is C. 14 days. Question 18. What type of vehicle is excluded from the air brake endorsement, even if the vehicle is equipped with air brakes? A. Drivers of Class 2 vehicles. B. Drivers of Class 5 vehicles. C. Drivers of Class 1 vehicles. D. Drivers of a Class 3 truck registered as a farm truck equipped with air brakes. The answer is D. Drivers of a Class 3 truck registered as a farm truck equipped with air brakes. Question 19. How much can driving on snow-covered roads increase fuel consumption? A. 3 to 7%. B. 8 to 11%. C. 15 to 20%. D. 35 to 40%. The answer is C. 15 to 20%. Question 20. How can drivers obtain an air brake endorsement? They must first be employed to drive an air brake-equipped vehicle. B. They must pass an online quiz. C. They pay the upgraded fee. D. They must pass a knowledge test and a practical test based on the air brake manual. The answer is C. 15 to 20%. Question 21. How long do you have to finish a knowledge test? A. 30 minutes. B. 25 minutes. C. 45 minutes. D. 20 minutes. The answer is A. 30 minutes. Question 22. The air brake test is conducted on a vehicle provided by the applicant and includes what components or procedures? A. Labeling all parts on a diagram supplied by the tester. B. Using the secondary names of each of the air brake parts. C. A practical demonstration of a pre-trip brake inspection, along with a verbal explanation of the air brake components and their functions. D. None of the above. The answer is C. A practical demonstration of a pre-trip brake inspection, along with a verbal explanation of the air brake components and their functions. Question 23. For Class 1, 2, 3, and 4 licenses, how long is the initial medical report valid? A. 3 months. B. 6 months. C. 8 months. D. 12 months. The answer is B. 6 months. Question 24. What is the duration of a license suspension for a second occurrence of impaired driving? A. 7 days. B. 15 days. C. 21 days. D. 10 days. The answer is B. 15 days. Question 25. Why is it important not to let the clutch out too slowly or only release it enough to prevent rolling when stopped on a hill? A. It's tough on the brakes. B. The vehicle has a greater chance of rolling away. C. It will cause the clutch to heat excessively and wear out prematurely. D. None of these. The answer is C. It will cause the clutch to heat excessively and wear out prematurely. Question 26. Under what circumstances are drivers and passengers exempt from wearing the complete seatbelt assembly in the cab or sleeper berth? A. Sleeping. B. Exempted by law. C. Over the age of 45. D. None of these. The answer is B. Exempted by law. Question 27. What is the recommended position for holding the steering wheel? A. 10 and 2. B. 9 and 3. C. 8 and 4. D. 11 and 1. The answer is B. 9 and 3. Question 28. Driver fatigue or extreme tiredness is estimated to be a factor in what percentage of all heavy truck fatalities? A. 10 to 15%. B. 30 to 40%. C. 25 to 35%. D. 20 to 25%. The answer is B. 30 to 40%. Question 29. What does ASD stand for in the context of measuring blood alcohol levels? A. Automatic screening device. B. Approved safety device. C. Approved screening device. D. Alcohol screening device. The answer is C. Approved screening device. Question 30. What is the length of the license suspension for a first occurrence of impaired driving if a person under the age of 16 is in the vehicle? A. 21 days. B. 7 days. C. 72 hours. D. 14 days. The answer is B. 7 days. Question 31. What is microsleep? A condition that a driver may experience when the driver has a lot of interrupted sleep the night before. B. When the driver pulls over to take a short nap. C. A short period of time, usually just seconds, when the brain tunes out what is going on around it. D. None of these. The answer is C. A short period of time, usually just seconds, when the brain tunes out what is going on around it. Question 32. At what distance from oncoming traffic should you dim your headlights? A. 250 m, B. 450 m, C. 350 m, D. 300 m. The answer is B. 450 m. Question 33. What is the required gross vehicle weight for buses and trucks to be equipped with 3 reflectorized devices meeting SAE standard J774 specifications? A. 4,500 kilograms or more. B. More than 11,365 kilograms. C. Less than 2,200 kilograms. D. Less than 4,500 kilograms. The answer is A. 4,500 kilograms or more. Question 34. How does accelerating smoothly impact a driver's control over the vehicle? A. Quick and hard. B. Short, quick bursts. C. Slowly and steadily. D. None of these. The answer is C. Slowly and steadily. Question 35. What is highway hypnosis, a condition that fatigue drivers may experience? Where they drive on areas of the highway they do not know. B. Where they are forced to drive at faster highway speeds. C. Where they become inattentive because of uninteresting terrain. D. None of these. The answer is C. Where they become inattentive because of uninteresting terrain. Question 36. What is the duration of vehicle impoundment if you are found driving while your license is suspended or you are prohibited from driving? A. A minimum of 45 days. B. A minimum of 30 days. C. A maximum of 10 days. D. A minimum of 60 days. The answer is B. A minimum of 30 days. Question 37. What is the length of a license suspension for a third occurrence of impaired driving? A. 21 days. B. 30 days. C. 15 days. D. 14 days. The answer is B. 30 days. Question 38. How far ahead should low beams illuminate objects to ensure safety and avoid blinding oncoming drivers? A. 50 m. B. 70 m. C. 90 m. D. 30 m. The answer is D. 30 m. Question 39. Due to the airbag, you should position your seat so that it is at least how far from the steering wheel? A. 18 centimeters. B. 15 centimeters. C. 35 centimeters. D. 25 centimeters. The answer is D. 25 centimeters. Question 40. How many levels does a tiered administrative license suspension reduce your driver safety rating? A. 12. B. 15. C. 5. D. 10. The answer is C. 5. Question 1. What are the implications of receiving 2 or more suspensions within a 10-year period? A. Your license will be revoked for life. B. Complete an impaired driver assessment at the Addictions Foundation of Manitoba. C. You must lower your license class. D. None of these. The answer is B. Complete an impaired driver assessment at the Addictions Foundation of Manitoba. Question 2. What is the penalty for a first occurrence under the tiered administrative license suspension system? A. 72 hours. B. 42 hours. C. 32 hours. D. 22 hours. The answer is A. 72 hours. Question 3. What is the minimum following distance required when driving an ambulance? A. 2 seconds. B. 4 seconds. C. 4 seconds. D. 2 car lengths. The answer is B. For seconds. Question 4. The slow-moving vehicle sign may be displayed only on a vehicle, combination of vehicles, or machinery traveling at a speed of what or less? A. 35 kilometers per hour or less. B. 30 kilometers per hour or less. C. 40 kilometers per hour or less. D. 20 kilometers per hour or less. The answer is C. 40 kilometers per hour or less. Question 5. What does it mean to be covering the brake while driving? Placing a layer of rubber across the brake pedal. B. Removing the foot from the accelerator and putting it lightly on the brake pedal. C. Placing your foot near the clutch. D. Placing your right foot beside the brake pedal. The answer is B. Removing the foot from the accelerator and putting it lightly on the brake pedal. Question 6. When stopping a vehicle without anti-lock brakes on an icy road surface, what technique should the driver use? A. Feather the brakes to avoid locking up. B. Locking up the brakes to allow the tires to dig in. C. Lightly release or pump the brakes. D. None of these. The answer is C. Lightly release or pump the brakes. Question 7. When the weight of a vehicle is doubled, what happens to the required braking force? A. Tripled. B. Doubled. C. Equal. D. Quadrupled. The answer is B. Doubled. Question 8. What does snubbing the brakes help to prevent? A. Late stops. B. Nothing. C. Overheating the brakes. D. Wear on the tires. The answer is C. Overheating the brakes. Question 9. How should you modify your following distance when driving a bus, truck, or truck and trailer? A. Keep it the same. B. Increase it based on the length of the vehicle. C. Decrease it based on the length of the vehicle. D. Does not matter. The answer is B. Increase it based on the length of the vehicle. Question 10. If you double both the weight and speed of a vehicle, what changes need to be made to the braking force? A. Increased 4 times. B. Increased 10 times. C. Increased 3 times. D. Increased 8 times. The answer is D. Increased 8 times. Question 11. What is the term used for applying both trailer and tractor brakes simultaneously using the foot valve on combination vehicles? A. Bottom foot braking. B. Balance braking. C. Top heavy braking. D. Foot hand braking. The answer is B. Balance braking. Question 12. The distance required to stop a vehicle depends on what factors? A. Its speed and weight. B. The type of brakes. C. The experience of the driver. D. Doesn't matter. The answer is A. Its speed and weight. Question 13. What device allows the trailer brakes to be applied independently of the tractor brakes? A. Double clutching. B. The hand control valve. C. The parking brakes. D. None of these. The answer is B. The hand control valve. Question 14. What is meant by the term danger zone in driving? A. The blind areas immediately to the left of the cab. B. The area directly in front of the vehicle in which the vehicle cannot be stopped. C. The blind area directly to the right of the vehicle. D. The area directly in behind the vehicle. The answer is B. The area directly in front of the vehicle in which the vehicle cannot be stopped. Question 15. When the speed of a vehicle is doubled, by what factor must the braking force be increased? A. 3 times. B. Equal. C. 4 times. D. 2 times. The answer is C. 4 times. Question 16. What is the function of retarders in a vehicle? A. They cool down the brake pads and rotors. B. They assist the brakes by reducing the heat that's built up inside them. C. They provide auxiliary slowing of the vehicle. D. Nothing. The answer is C. They provide auxiliary slowing of the vehicle. Question 17. What is another term for engine retarders? A. Engine brakes. B. Exhaust retarders. C. Hydraulic retarders. D. Electric brakes. The answer is A. Engine brakes. Question 18. What term is used to describe a traffic signal light that has been green for an extended period? A. A fresh green light. B. A stale green light. C. A common green light. D. A stagnant green light. The answer is B. A stale green light. Question 19. What is the recommended braking technique for a vehicle equipped with an anti-lock brake system, ABS? A. Hit the brakes firm and fast. B. Apply the brakes as normal. C. Pump the brakes. D. Lightly touch the brakes. The answer is B. Apply the brakes as normal. Question 20. When should drivers select a lower gear when descending steep grades with a loaded vehicle? A. Approaching the top of the hill. B. The bottom of the hill before going up. C. Halfway down the hill. D. Before starting downhill. The answer is D. Before starting downhill. Question 21. What is not considered a type of retarder? A. Hydraulic. B. Propane. C. electric. D, exhaust. The answer is B, propane. Question 22. What is the meaning of snubbing the brakes? A. When the brake applications are not used and are ignored. B. When the parking brake is used instead of the regular brakes. C. When a brake application is made at intervals to reduce the vehicle's speed and then the brakes are released. D. None of these. The answer is C. When a brake application is made at intervals to reduce the vehicle's speed and then the brakes are released. Question 23. Overbraking on vehicles without anti-lock brakes while negotiating a curve or traveling on wet or icy surfaces could result in what? A. A longer stopping distance. B. A jackknife. C. Brake fade. D. None of these. The answer is B. A jackknife. Question 24. What is the reason for shifting down to a lower gear in an automatic transmission vehicle? A. For better fuel economy. B. To save wear and tear of the gears. C. For increased braking power when descending a hill. D. None of these. The answer is C. For increased braking power when descending a hill. Question 25. When the ABS, anti-lock braking system, activates, what should you avoid doing? A. Keep firm pressure on the brake pedal. B. Release the pressure you have applied to the brake pedal. C. Hold the steering wheel firmly. D. None of these. The answer is B. Release the pressure you have applied to the brake pedal. Question 26. What is the minimum distance that regulated vehicles, trucks, highway buses, or motor vehicles pulling another piece of equipment must maintain from each other outside of a restricted speed area? A. 90 m, B. 100 m, C. 120 m, D. 140 m. The answer is A. 90 m. Question 27. How should you respond to a skid caused by overbraking? A. Downshift dramatically. B. Tap the accelerator. C. Brake harder so the anti-lock brakes activate. D. Release the brake pedal so the wheels start to turn and the tires regain traction with the road surface. The answer is D. Release the brake pedal so the wheels start to turn and the tires regain traction with the road surface. Question 28. How frequently should you use the horn while backing up? A. Once at the end. B. Once before starting. C. For each vehicle length traveled. D. If you notice another vehicle approaching. The answer is C. For each vehicle length traveled. Question 29. When the rear of your vehicle skids to the left, what should be your initial response? A. Nothing. B. Pump the brakes. C. Steer to the left to straighten out the vehicle. D. Steer to the right. The answer is C. Steer to the left to straighten out the vehicle. Question 30. When inspecting the tires of a bus, truck, or tractor with a GVWR of 4,500 kilograms or higher, what is the minimum tread depth required for the rear tires? A. 2.8 millimeters. B. 2.5 millimeters. C. 2 millimeters. D. 3 millimeters. The answer is C. 2 millimeters. Question 31. What should you do if your vehicle starts to skid on a slippery road? A. 250 m. B. 100 m. C. 2 kilometers. D. 1 kilometer. The answer is D. 1 kilometer. Question 32. How often should lug nuts be retorqued? A. Twice a year. B. Every 500 kilometers traveled. C. At each major servicing of the vehicle or trailer. D. During each trip inspection. The answer is C. At each major servicing of the vehicle or trailer. Question 33. When examining the tires of a bus, truck, or tractor with a GVWR of 4,500 kilograms or more, what is the minimum tread depth required for the front steering tires compared to the rear tires? A. 2.8 millimeters. B. 2.5 millimeters. C. 3 millimeters. D. 2 millimeters. The answer is C. 3 millimeters. Question 34. What is the typical outcome if the wheels begin to spin while accelerating on wet roads? A. The rear end of the vehicle may skid sideways. B. The vehicle begins to hydroplane. C. The weight of the trailer stops the vehicle from moving. D. None of these. The answer is A. The rear end of the vehicle may skid sideways. Question 35. How much does a typical truck tire weigh on average? A. 242 kilograms. B. 181 kilograms. C. 156 kilograms. D. 213 kilograms. The answer is B. 181 kilograms. Question 36. What does the term stale green light mean? A. A green arrow. B. A flashing green light. C. A light that has been green a while. D. None of these. The answer is C. A light that has been green a while. Question 37. For a vehicle with a GVWR of 4,499 kilograms or less, what is the minimum allowable tread depth for the tires during inspection? A. 2 millimeters. B. 1.8 millimeters. C. 2.2 millimeters. D. 1.6 millimeters. The answer is D. 1.6 millimeters. Question 38. What factors contribute to an increase in a vehicle's momentum? A. Toller loads. B. Higher speed. C. Lower speed. D. Heavier vehicles. The answer is B. Higher speed. Question 39. What is the recommended distance to stop your vehicle from the railway tracks at a crossing? A. At least 1 meter away from the nearest rail in a restricted speed area and at least 25 m away in a non-restricted speed area. B. At least 15 meters away from the nearest rail in a restricted speed area and at least 5 m away in a non-restricted speed area. C. At least 10 meters away from the nearest rail in a restricted speed area and at least 15 m away in a non-restricted speed area. D. At least 5 meters away from the nearest rail in a restricted speed area and at least 15 m away in a non-restricted speed area. The answer is D. At least 5 meters away from the nearest rail in a restricted speed area and at least 15 m away in a non-restricted speed area. Question 40. What factors might lead to a wheel lug becoming loose? A. Vibration. B. Wrong size lugs. C. The rim will heat and expand and then will cool and contract. D. None of these. The answer is C. The rim will heat and expand and then will cool and contract. Question 1. What role does centrifugal force play when navigating a curve? Pushes a vehicle outwards from the center of the curve in order to maintain straight line momentum. B. Pushes a vehicle inwards from the center of the curve in order to maintain straight line momentum. C. It's the same as momentum. D. None of these. The answer is A. Pushes a vehicle outwards from the center of the curve in order to maintain straight line momentum. Question 2. What is the default speed limit for vehicles with a maximum GVWR of 7 tons or more on winter roads when no speed limit signs are posted? A. 30 kilometers per hour. B. 25 kilometers per hour. C. 15 kilometers per hour. D. 35 kilometers per hour. The answer is C. 15 kilometers per hour. Question 3. Why is it important to lightly apply the brakes and maintain a slight drag on them when driving through water on the roadway? A. It will reduce the amount of time to stop. B. It will reduce the amount of water entering the brake drums and shoes. C. It helps to clean the brake pads. D. None of these. The answer is B. It will reduce the amount of water entering the brake drums and shoes. Question 4. What effect does using only the trailer brakes have when driving a tractor-trailer? A. A jackknife. B. Shorter stopping distance. C. It helps to clean the brake pads. D. Longer stopping distance. The answer is A. A jackknife. Question 5. When backing up a vehicle, where should the guide person position themselves? A. In clear view ahead of the driver. B. Clear view on the passenger side of the vehicle. C. Wherever they feel it's safe to do so. D. Stand to the rear of the vehicle where there is a clear, continuous view of the backing path, visible to the driver in his mirror throughout the maneuver. The answer is D. Stand to the rear of the vehicle where there is a clear, continuous view of the backing path, visible to the driver in his mirror throughout the maneuver. Question 6. In which locations or situations do most collisions typically happen? A. Parking lots. B. Highways. C. Hills. D. Intersections. The answer is D. Intersections. Question 7. What is the purpose of runaway lanes on highways? A. To help trucks gain more speed to enter the highway. B. As emergency areas for the purpose of stopping trucks that experience brake failure when traveling down a very steep highway. C. To allow longer lanes for slowing down after exiting the highway. D. None of these. The answer is B. As emergency areas for the purpose of stopping trucks that experience brake failure when traveling down a very steep highway. Question 8. Under what conditions is travel permitted on all winter ice roads? Once the ice is thick enough. B. Once the carrier approves it. C. Not until a section officially opens. D. None of these. The answer is C. Not until a section officially opens. Question 9. What defines an uncontrolled intersection? Are intersections not controlled by traffic lights or signs? B. Are intersections where only those going straight can take the right-of-way? C. The same as controlled intersections. D. Are intersections where anyone can take the right-of-way? The answer is A. Are intersections not controlled by traffic lights or signs? Question 10. How far in advance should you signal when making a turn? A. 30 m from the intersection, 150 m outside cities, towns, or villages. B. 30 m from the intersection, 50 m outside cities, towns, or villages. C. 75 m from the intersection, 150 m outside cities, towns, or villages. D. 150 m from the intersection, 30 m outside cities, towns, or villages. The answer is A. 30 m from the intersection, 150 m outside cities, towns, or villages. Question 11. Permits are not issued for overlength loads carried on trucks other than what type? A. A straight truck. B. Fire truck. C. A tractor trailer or a combination type of vehicle. D. None of these. The answer is C. A tractor trailer or a combination type of vehicle. Question 12. If a vehicle lacks an audible automatic backing device while coupling a trailer, what steps should you take? A. Sound the horn. B. Tell others what will be happening. C. Inspect the area for others. D. None of these. The answer is A. Sound the horn. Question 13. Under what conditions are escort vehicles, complying with the Highway Traffic Act and its regulations, required both in front of and behind the escorted vehicle? A. When the width exceeds 3.6 m. B. When the width exceeds 3.8 m. C. When the width exceeds 4.2 m. D. When the width exceeds 4.8 m. The answer is C. When the width exceeds 4.2 m. Question 14. If two side-by-side lanes allow a right turn, why should you make the turn from the leftmost lane? A. You won't need to slow down so much. B. This will give you a larger turning arc, and you should not have to worry about traffic to your left side. C. It prepares you to make a left turn ahead. D. None of these. The answer is B. This will give you a larger turning arc, and you should not have to worry about traffic to your left side. Question 15. What is the maximum allowable width for a vehicle and its load? A. 2.1 m. B. 2.4 m. C. 2.6 m. D. 2.25 m. The answer is C. 2.6 m. Question 16. What is the purpose of pilot vehicles? A. To help plan the route. B. To update the carrier of the progress of the driver. C. To warn drivers they are approaching an oversized vehicle or load. D. To clear the road ahead. The answer is C. To warn drivers they are approaching an oversized vehicle or load. Question 17. According to the Highway Traffic Act and its regulations, a pilot vehicle equipped as required must follow vehicles whose overall length exceeds what distance? A. 20 m, B. 40 m, C. 30 m, D. 50 m. The answer is C. 30 m. Question 18. How can you determine if a trailer is properly aligned with a tractor when coupling? A. You will feel it. B. You will hear a click. C. You will have to get out of the cab multiple times to check. D. The tractor should be roughly in a straight line with the trailer so the fifth wheel is aligned with the kingpin. The answer is D. The tractor should be roughly in a straight line with the trailer so the fifth wheel is aligned with the kingpin. Question 19. What should a driver verify they have before transporting loads that are oversized in terms of width, weight, height, or length? A. The proper permits. B. Directions of their routes. C. Instructions from the carrier. D. None of these. The answer is A. The proper permits. Question 20. A coupling device may be attached to a strong part of the frame on the towing vehicle if the weight is less than what amount in kilograms? A. 600 kilograms GVWR. B. 900 kilograms GVWR. C. 900 kilograms GVWR. D. 750 kilograms GVWR. The answer is B. 900 kilograms GVWR. Question 21. What is the maximum allowable width for vehicles transporting loose hay, straw, or fodder? A. 3.9 m, B. 3.7 m, C. 4.1 m, D. 4.3 m. The answer is B. 3.7 m. Question 22. Why should you keep the front wheels close to the center line when making a right turn? A. To give the driver more visibility. B. So the rear wheels don't drop off the pavement or go onto the pavement shoulder. C. To flatten the curve out. D. To make the curve more manageable. The answer is B. So the rear wheels don't drop off the pavement or go onto the pavement shoulder. Question 23. In what situations is a button hook turn appropriate to use? A. In snowy conditions. B. When the driver has mastered it. C. During wet weather. D. When the only room available to maneuver is within the intersection. The answer is D. When the only room available to maneuver is within the intersection. Question 24. What is the maximum allowed extension for load securement devices beyond the vehicle's overall width on each side? A. An additional 18 centimeters on each side of the vehicle. B. An additional 10 centimeters on each side of the vehicle. C. An additional 12 centimeters on each side of the vehicle. D. An additional 15 centimeters on each side of the vehicle. The answer is B. An additional 10 centimeters on each side of the vehicle. Question 25. What additional equipment must be used with a coupling device, excluding a fifth wheel coupler, to ensure that the connection remains secure in case the primary device fails? A. An air hose. B. A hitch. C. An auxiliary safety chain. D. None of these. The answer is C. An auxiliary safety chain. Question 26. What is the maximum legal length for a tractor-trailer, including its load? A. 26 m. B. 27.5 m. C. 21.5 m. D. 23 m. The answer is D. 23 m. Question 27. What is the maximum allowable height for a vehicle on a highway without requiring a permit? A. 3.75 m. B. 3.85 m. C. 4.45 m. D. 4.15 m. The answer is D. 4.15 m. Question 28. When making a turn, what does the term off-tracking mean? A. When a vehicle moves around a curve, the rear wheels follow a different path than the front wheels. B. When the vehicle drifts to the inside of the turn. C. When the vehicle drifts to the outside of the turn. D. When the tires move out of a set of tracks made from other vehicles. The answer is A. When a vehicle moves around a curve, the rear wheels follow a different path than the front wheels. Question 29. On a four-lane divided highway, how far behind the oversized vehicle or load should the pilot vehicle follow? A. Not less than 50 m and not more than 500 m. B. Not less than 75 m and not more than 300 m. C. Not less than 100 m and not more than 250 m. D. Not less than 100 m and not more than 500 m. The answer is D. Not less than 100 m and not more than 500 m. Question 30. What is the maximum legal length for a combination vehicle, including a truck or car pulling a trailer? A. 21.5 m. B. 22.7 m. C. 19.8 m. D. 20.5 m. The answer is A. 21.5 m. Question 31. On a two-lane or four-lane highway, how far ahead and behind should pilot vehicles be positioned in relation to the oversized vehicle or load? A. Not less than 100 m and not more than 500 m. B. Not less than 100 m and not more than 200 m. C. Not less than 75 m and not more than 500 m. D. Not less than 50 m and not more than 250 m. The answer is A. Not less than 100 m and not more than 500 m. Question 32. Why do certain highways have weight restrictions for vehicles? If trucks of normal weights were allowed to travel on this soft highway when the ground thaws, it would cause damage. B. Because of the poor quality of the roads. C. Because of the crowning of the road. D. None of these. The answer is A. If trucks of normal weights were allowed to travel on this soft highway when the ground thaws, it would cause damage. Question 33. What is the maximum legal length for a single vehicle? A. 11.2 m. B. 12.5 m, C. 15.5 m, D. 14.5 m. The answer is B. 12.5 m. Question 34. Even if the total load is within the vehicle's carrying capacity, could something still cause an axle or set of tires to be overloaded? A. Broken scales. B. Poor tires. C. A poor distribution of weight. D. None of these. The answer is C. A poor distribution of weight. Question 35. If the rear overhang of a load exceeds 1 meter, how large must the red flag be that is attached to it? A. 25 centimeters square. B. 50 centimeters square. C. 45 centimeters square. D. 30 centimeters square. The answer is D. 30 centimeters square. Question 36. When a driver sees way station signs, whether the station is stationary or portable, what actions should they take? A. They only apply to tandem truck and trailers. B. Must log how many way stations they pass. C. They don't have to do anything if the vehicle's GVWR is 4,500 or more. D. Must report as directed by the posted signs or on the request of a peace officer. The answer is D. Must report as directed by the posted signs or on the request of a peace officer. Question 37. If a driver loses part of their load and it results in littering, who would be held responsible for the offense? A. The driver. B. The carrier. C. The dock workers who loaded the truck or trailer. D. Both the driver and the owner of the vehicle. The answer is D. Both the driver and the owner of the vehicle. Question 38. Who authorizes routes for transporting dangerous goods? A. Federal legislation. B. The employer. C. Provincial legislation. D. Civic bylaw and the respective civic administration. The answer is D. Civic bylaw and the respective civic administration. Question 39. Why is it important to cover loads of loose materials, like wood chips, paper, refuse, gravel, and stones, with a tarpaulin when hauling them in open boxes? A. It helps to keep the boxes close together. B. To prevent littering the highway. C. To keep the load a surprise to other motorists. D. It helps with aerodynamics. The answer is B. To prevent littering the highway. Question 40. What is the maximum allowable projection beyond the front bumper before a permit is required? A. 1 meter. B. 4 meters. C. 2 meters. D. 3 meters. The answer is A. 1 meter. Question 1. Why is it important to avoid placing a very heavy load on one side of a vehicle? A. This overloads one spring and the tires on that side. B. It may cause the vehicle turn in the direction where weight is loaded. C. It's more difficult to unload from the other side. D. It's tougher to use that particular side mirror. The answer is A. This overloads one spring and the tires on that side. Question 2. Why is it crucial to ensure that a load is always centered on a vehicle? A. It's in the manual. B. To provide better cornering. C. To help with acceleration. D. To give the proper wheel load distribution. The answer is D. To give the proper wheel load distribution. Question 3. Who is liable for damages caused by an overweight vehicle to any part of a highway? A. The operator. B. The dispatcher. C. The owner. D. The owner and operator. The answer is D. The owner and operator. Question 4. From what distance must the red flag at the end of a load be visible? A. A minimum of 60 meters. B. A minimum of 75 meters. C. A minimum of 100 meters. D. It doesn't matter as long as it's seen. The answer is A. A minimum of 60 meters. Question 5. How often should training certificates for handling dangerous goods be renewed? A. Every 36 months. B. Every 18 months. C. Every 30 months. D. Every 24 months. The answer is A. Every 36 months. Question 6. What is the maximum speed at which a farm vehicle can travel when approached? A. 30 kilometers per hour. B. 20 kilometers per hour. C. 40 kilometers per hour. D. 25 kilometers per hour. The answer is C. 40 kilometers per hour. Question 7. What are the consequences for drivers convicted of using a weight-restricted road with a vehicle that exceeds the allowable weight limit? A. They receive a 30-day license suspension. B. The vehicle is placed out of service. C. They receive a warning. D. Must pay fines based on the difference between the actual weight and the allowable weight. The answer is D. Must pay fines based on the difference between the actual weight and the allowable weight. Question 8. Who must ensure that employees receive training related to the dangerous goods they will handle? A. The employee. B. The employer. C. The provincial government. D. The health and safety representative. The answer is B. The employer. Question 9. When loading trucks, what is the average percentage of the payload that is supported by the rear tires? A. 50%. B. 60%. C. 90%. D. 70%. The answer is C. 90%. Question 10. What issues can arise from overloading an axle or set of tires? A. Poor mileage. B. The vehicle won't steer as well. C. Poor visibility through the mirrors. D. Undue stress could be placed on the frame, resulting in permanent damage and steering misalignment. The answer is D. Undue stress could be placed on the frame, resulting in permanent damage and steering misalignment. Question 11. While traveling at night, where should the two lamps that emit green or amber light and are visible to oncoming vehicles be placed? A. Both on the left side. B. Both on the right side. C. On the left and right near the rear. D. On the left and right near the front. The answer is D. On the left and right near the front. Question 12. What color is the placard for transporting non-flammable gases? A. Orange. B. Red. C. Green. D. White. The answer is C. Green. Question 13. What responsibilities does the consignor have in the transportation of goods? A. Nothing. B. Supplying the driver with the route. C. Helping the driver load the truck or trailer. D. Supplying the initial carrier with the appropriate safety marks, like placards. The answer is D. Supplying the initial carrier with the appropriate safety marks, like placards. Question 14. What effect is commonly produced within a tank truck when the vehicle slows down or brakes? A. Sloshing. B. Hydrogen. C. Anti-gravity. D. Hydroplaning. The answer is A. Sloshing. Question 15. How can you test to ensure that the fifth wheel jaws have properly locked around the trailer kingpin? A. Do a tug test. B. Look. C. Slide your fingers in to test it. D. None of these. The answer is A. Do a tug test. Question 16. How can you test to ensure that the fifth wheel jaws have properly locked around the trailer kingpin? A 150m, B 100m, C 300m, D 120m. The answer is A 150m. Question 17. When connecting multiple trailers, which trailer should be hitched directly to the tractor? A. The heaviest. B. The lightest. C. The longest. D. The shortest. The answer is A. The heaviest. Question 18. What makes vehicles transporting hanging meat more likely to become unstable? A. The weight of the load. B. The high center of gravity. C. The swaying of the hanging meat. D. None of these. The answer is B. The high center of gravity. Question 19. What is a highway train, commonly referred to as? A. When drivers follow closely to one another. B. A combination vehicle made up of a tractor, more than one trailer, and may include converter dollies. C. Any towed vehicle. D. None of these. The answer is B. A combination vehicle made up of a tractor, more than one trailer, and may include converter dollies. Question 20. At what percentage of capacity are most tanks typically regarded as full? A. 50%. B. 80%. C. 70%. D. 90%. The answer is C. 70%. Question 21. If a tow truck has more than two axles, or the towed vehicle exceeds 4,540 kilograms, what kind of license is needed? A. Class 2. B. Class 3. C. Class 4. D. Class 5. The answer is B. Class 3. Question 22. In case of spills or other hazards related to dangerous goods, which parties are drivers not obligated to notify? A. The nearest police agency. B. The Provincial Conservation Department. C. Transport Canada. D. Fire Department. The answer is C. Transport Canada. Question 23. For a bus with a seating capacity greater than 24 occupants, including the driver, what class of driver's license is necessary to operate it? A. Class 4. B. Class 2 or higher. C. Class 3. D. Class 5. The answer is B. Class 2 or higher. Question 24. What is the maximum distance allowed between the towing vehicle and a disabled vehicle being towed? A. 7 m. B. 9 m. C. 12 m. D. 5 m. The answer is D. 5 m. Question 25. What class of driver's license is required for operating passenger-carrying vehicles with a seating capacity between 11 and 24 occupants, including the driver? A. Class 4 or higher. B. Class 5. C. Class 6. D. None of these. The answer is A. Class 4 or higher. Question 26. What measures should the driver of a highway train implement to minimize the risk of a collision? A. Become more aerodynamic. B. Stay on the throttle at all times. C. Avoid making abrupt movements with the steering wheel. D. Brake late so as momentum does not suffer. The answer is C. Avoid making abrupt movements with the steering wheel. Question 27. If no corrective action is taken once a skid begins, how long does it typically take to reach the critical point? A. 4 seconds. B. 1.5 seconds. C. 5 seconds. D. 3.5 seconds. The answer is B. 1.5 seconds. Question 28. What class of driver's license is required for school bus drivers if the school bus has a seating capacity of over 36 occupants, including the driver, while carrying passengers? A. Class 2 or higher. B. Class 4. C. Class 3. D. Class 5. The answer is A. Class 2 or higher. Question 29. Who should a driver report to if they believe or suspect there is a safety defect in their vehicle? A. The nearest MTO office. B. The head of maintenance. C. The carrier. D. No one. The answer is C. The carrier. Question 30. When preparing to execute a sharp right turn, what distance from the curb should the driver position the bus on the approach to the intersection? A. 30 centimeters. B. 3 m. C. 50 centimeters. D. 1 to 2 meters. The answer is D. 1 to 2 meters.